Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be pretty fun for me, maybe not for you unless you like hearing me rant about books, but I'm going to be going over all of my 5-star reads. This was so good, so let's do all of At the end we're going to do some honorable mentions that were like so close, not quite there. I am very picky when it comes to 5-star reads. I always find something bad. I will give a fair warning. A lot of these are like rom-com-y books because that's what I started reading with. So I do probably need to revisit a lot of my old 5-star reads because they probably aren't 5 stars anymore. I believe my first 5-star read is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. You guys know, I love Emily Henry, okay? That's not a secret at this point. A lot of people didn't like Book Lovers as much as they liked her other books. I don't think I've actually seen anyone rate Book Lovers a 5-star except for me. This book follows Nora and Charlie, and basically they are both like editors, I believe. Nora and her sister Libby go to Sunshine Falls, North Carolina for the summer because they used to go there all the time, and you find out the reason why they used to go there and why they're back, and it just like was kind of sad. She meets Charlie there. It's kind of an enemies to lovers. I don't really think that they're enemies. It was just like they like met once beforehand and didn't really like care at all. It was like a hi, bye, like it, you know what I mean? It just didn't matter. I want to say it didn't feel like a romance. It had a lot of romance in it, but it didn't feel like just that. I don't know. I love this book. One of my first 5-star reads. You guys already know which one I'm gonna pull out next. Beach Read by Emily Henry. There's just not a way you haven't heard of this book if you're on like Book Talk. If you watch book YouTube videos, you've probably heard about this book. This follows Augustus and January, and basically they're both writers. They have neighboring beach houses that they're staying in to try to write their next book. So they're both going through like a writing slump, and they decide to make a pact where they are gonna switch genres of book. Nora writes like rom-com-y books. Charlie writes like dark literary fiction vibes. And they're like, oh, let's switch. See if we can break ourselves out of this like writing slump. Anyways, I have so much room in my heart for this book. I think about these characters daily. I like how Emily Henry has a way of writing people who like feel so real. And you can't convince me that they aren't real people in real life, like living out their lives right now. Like you can't convince me that's not a thing. Next we have Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. Like this just felt so cute the entire time. I was like smiling reading this book the entire time. It's basically a childhood friends to lovers, but it was actually like a childhood lovers to lovers. And then Elliot comes back into her life and is like, let's just be friends. Like I would rather have you in my life than not in my life at all. I love this book. And also, any book where the people like books, bond over books, are writers, I'll eat it up every time. Okay, I think my next book is The Roughest Draft. When I tell you I have so much love for this book, I have so much love for this book because it was a cute story, loved the characters from the beginning. So this basically follows Katrina and Nathan, and they both co-wrote a book together in the past that was a very popular book. Everyone's kind of like, hey, when's the next book coming? So then they go stay at a beach house. Notice the theme. I always just like the tropical vibes. So they both have to stay at a beach house, co-write the book. It's a slow burn rom-com, and I appreciated that a lot. Moving on, we have one more rom-com that I absolutely love and adore. You guess which one it is? It's The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. This made me fall in love with Ali Hazelwood's writing and books in general. This follows Adam and Olive, and basically it's a fake dating trope. I just love Olive and Adam so much. There were some moments that made me cringe in the book. I was like, stop. Like, just pause. I think that's kind of the fun of the book. I love both of the characters in this. Adam is the blueprint. We have finally trekked through all of the romance reads that I have rated 5 stars. So we are going to move on to the fantasy books, which I'm really excited for. But you want one last look, one last overview. Here are all of my 5-star romance reads. You know, you always need a rom-com for a little palate cleanser. You always need a rom-com to kind of make you realize how lonely you are. That's always fun. Anyways, alright, let's move into fantasy. I have like 3 fantasy books that are 5 stars for me. It's just really hard for me to rate fantasy books 5 stars because world building, Isn't that a concept? A concept that my puny little brain can't understand half the time. So these fantasy books are like beginner friendly fantasy books that like I love with all of my heart. Guessed it. I'm gonna cry. The books that were up there earlier, you guessed it, are my 5-star reads. Most of the books on this shelf are like I love with all of my heart. I stop ranting about this and let me start ranting about these. This is Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves. This is a duology. If there was like 10 books and this was a whole series, I would eat up every single one of them. So let's talk about it. The first book in the duology is Dance of Thieves. This follows Cassie and Jace, and basically Jace is the leader of a kingdom. I hate that. That just made me cringe. Cassie is one of like Queen's secretaries, I guess it's called. She is basically sent to gather intel on Jace and his family. It looks like a very intimidating long book, but I flew through it and I love it. I'm so glad that there is a second book, because the second book dives more into each of the characters that were kind of like side characters in this, but you fall in love with the characters in Dance of Thieves. So then Vow of Thieves is kind of still about Cassie and Jace and their love story, but it's also talking more about like Cassie and Jace bonding with the other characters. Oh, hi, babe. What are you gonna do? Put your butt over here? Oh, thanks. She's so cute. Anyways. Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves, 5-star. I actually think that if you could do more than a 5-star, I would 1000% do that. Cassie and Jace are to die for, both of them. I would literally die for either of them in a literal split second. Go read them, go read them, go read them, go read them. Right now. First and only mystery/thriller book that is my 5 stars. The Couple Next Door. Now this book, I originally was like, this is not a 5-star. Like, there's no way that this is a 5-star for me. Then I got to the end and I was like, rightfully so, it's a 5-star. This is such a short book, which I appreciated because I normally don't like thrillers or mysteries. They low-key scare me. So this follows Anne and Marco, and they decide, hey, let's go to the next door neighbor's house for a dinner party, and we're only going to be there like an hour. We can leave our kid that's sleeping, like we're only next door. Like, and then the kid gets kidnapped. And the whole book is not told from like Anne and Marco's perspective of going to try to find out who took the kid, but it's more so told from like the police's perspective, which I really appreciated because it was like, I don't feel like I have to get attached to Anne and Marco in case that's the person who did it. This felt like it had a twist, like every other chapter. So good. If you want one that's like plot twists at every given moment and like you're just constantly like, what? This is the one for you. Also, if you're trying to get into thrillers, this is for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you watching my book videos. Like, I've been sitting here ranting about books for literally an hour so far. I really appreciate that you guys like sitting here and listening to me talk about books that I like. So I just want to say thank you for watching this video. Thank you for clicking on my channel. Hopefully subscribe and stick around for a while. I'm going to be doing more book content. I'm going to be doing more vlogs, more like sit down, literally anything.